Sairam, everyone. Why is he all leaving? Hey, wait for me. What? I just Sairam, Sairam, Sairam. You need a much needed coffee break, huh? Just after the speaker session. I promise you, the speaker session is going to be amazing. And all your tiredness, everything is just going to flow. Okay? I'm Rajat, okay, and I'm here to introduce our two lovely speakers that we have with us today. Uh, Sister Ramya Kumar and Brother Shreyas Iyer. Let me call them up to the stage. Please, Sister Ramya and Brother Shreyas. Huge round of applause. Come on, huge round of applause. It should not stop until this simple. Stopping. Come on. So let me start by introducing our lovely Sister Ramya. Ramya Kumar was introduced to Swami as a Balvika student in Dubai. However, her true inner connection started years later when she moved to Tucson, Arizona for work. Over the years, Ramya has been very much involved in local, regional, national and international initiatives across all the wings of SSIU organization. She has served in several wide leadership roles, including Region 9 Female Rep and a member of the former National Wide Leadership Committee that spearheaded several initiatives, including the first ever National USA YA Conference in 2009. In Chicago, yeah! Ramya has been serving as an SSC teacher for over 12 years and is currently the Region 9 Education Coordinator. Ramya is a speech-language pathologist by profession and practices in the pediatric and neonatal ICU settings. She feels privileged to be an instrument of Swami's love and healing energy on a daily basis. And she also shares the name with my sister, so give her a big round of applause. Brother Shreyas Iyer's journey with Swami started at a very young age. He grew up in a Sai family and enjoyed the bliss of weekly home bhajans and regular visits to Prashanti Nilayam. Shreyas' association with Sai Center activities started after he arrived in Phoenix for his master's at Arizona State University. He got involved in YA activities, service and bhajans at the local center. He has previously served as the Region 9 Male Young Adult Rep and Center Service Coordinator. He is also a Group 4 SSC teacher. Shreyas currently serves as the Region 9 Service Coordinator. Shreyas is an engineer by trade and a tabla artist by passion. He uses both aspects to focus on the journey towards the divinity races. Big round of applause for Shreyas Iyer. Alright, our beloved speakers. What do you think about the weather outside?
I feel like after the SSC performance, maybe we should not talk at all. It's a very tough act to follow, and I don't know what we're going to say, but whatever we're going to say by Swami's permission, and hopefully we can keep you engaged more than the SSC kids.
So outside it's like really warm, okay, so what I was getting to is as Chicago is so considerate. They know that you have come from Arizona, and they're just like warmed it up so that both of you feel at home. Big round of applause to Chicago! Sister Ramya, I wanted to start off by asking you about like your profession, right? So I'm a kind of guy who gets like attached to very small things, okay? So I get attached to a certain window seat in the train that I travel. I'm such a guy, okay, it's just me, okay? How much of a Swami says, non-attachment or disattachment is the value, is the thing to aspire for, I am deep down that road, okay? And when I first read that you work with in a prenatal setting, right? You must be seeing like so many babies, right? And how is it? How is it that you don't get attached to those babies? Right? They must be like so cute, right? And you don't get attached, but you do your duty without like, it's called like doing your duty with restraint. How do you practice that? I don't know if it suddenly went too deep, but yeah, hey, here we are.
I know. Can you hear me? So this is completely 100% impromptu. We asked Rajat if he could just moderate this and ask away, so we'll see what Swami speaks to us. And actually, interestingly enough, I was with a three and four students earlier today and they asked me the exact same question.
Really?
So I guess they prepped me.
I think I'm like an SSC student in a YA body.
There you
so
go.
young.
We all are. So like Rajat said, I work in the neonatal ICU, so I work with preterm infants, babies that are born as young as 23 weeks, early, prematurely. And yes, there is a cuteness factor. But there's also, there's a lot that happens. We are working with parents, teaching them how to parent in a very unnatural environment, an environment that they hadn't planned for as well. And in many ways, we're parenting the child when the family's not there. So there is cuteness, but there's also, I guess, trauma, for lack of better words. You know, babies pass, they don't all make it. And so I've often wondered, you know, how do you, more than even the cuteness, how do you come back from that? And one of the analogies I used to use, I've shifted, is while I'm at work, I'm a waffle, so everything is compartmentalized, and I can leave and come home, and the syrup doesn't get messy, it just stays in its boxes. But I've since evolved, and I'm like, the syrup is a mess, it's not a waffle. But what I do to stay grounded, which is challenging, but a practice that I have done for many years, is I shared this with the SSC as well. So I, many years ago, had heard the story about the relationship between Krishna and the flute, and how Radha was always jealous about how Krishna keeps the flute closer to him. And when she asked why, Krishna said, because the flute is hollow, and it just lets me flow through and do whatever is needed, while everything else has ego or purpose and expectation. And I just started that as a prayer, probably over 20 years ago at this point, and still every day will say, Swami, just make me humble with me, flow with me today, let me hear an instrument. And I kind of say that as I'm going into work, but before I enter my unit, the NICU, I have a moment of pause. And I just say, okay, Swami, we do a lot of philosophical meditations as well, so I offer everything up to my higher conscious, and say, today, whatever you're meant to do. And it's very interesting because I approach the baby, and it sounds kind of like cliche, but I talk to my babies and like, okay, what do you need from me today? What am I learning from you? I truly believe that our students, our youngsters, and our babies today are elevated souls that are coming to teach us purpose. And even the ones that pass, they were here for that moment to teach us something, or they needed something from me, whatever that karmic relationship was, to move to the next stage. And so I think that's really what helps me stay grounded, is I'm like, just making an instrument and it's not that I don't come home certain days and like things are rough. But I think if you set the intention that it's Swami's work and not yours, you can stay balanced a little bit more. But it doesn't happen overnight. Like this is a 20-year sadhana for me. Way before I even started. I've been in the NICU 10 years, so I started this way before. So I think that's my practice.
Yeah, that's so profound, yeah. Because being able to do your work, your profession, as an offering to Swami, I think that is, you have to be like really lucky to even feel like that. Because now coming to Brother Shreyas, right? In your bio, there was this very interesting line. Okay? Can you read that? Shreyas is an engineer by trade and a tabla artist by passion. He uses both aspects to focus on the journey towards the divinity within. Brother Shreyas, I have some co-workers, okay? these co-workers make me want to put divinity in a box and just like kick it out of the kick it out of my house, you know. How are you using your, as similarly like how Sister Ramya said, like how are you using your profession and your music to focus on the divinity within?
Yeah, that's a great question. And Ramya has had a 20-year kind of journey. My journey is also around 20 years, but it's flowed up and down in terms of what I need from my profession and how I flow through it, so that Swami talks through me in whatever I do. And as you rightly pointed out, when we, as Sai devotees, sometimes we have a certain demeanor, a certain character when we come to the Sai center. And when we leave the Sai center, we are slightly different. We're not that same person. We're slightly different. When we go to Kroger's or Albertsons, we're slightly different. And then when we enter the workplace, somehow we become this kind of a banshee kind of mode, where we're traveling after or looking after material benefits, material comforts. We're looking for promotions. We're looking to see, looking at others as adversaries almost, instead of thinking of us as team members, regardless of what it does. And I was kind of reviewing my life for the last 15 years, and I was thinking, why is that happening? Why are we not able to look at somebody at work in the same way that we look at somebody at the Sai Center? I came here, we landed here yesterday, and I truly feel that I've already created friendly bonds with a lot of people. It just flows. But if I start my work tomorrow, I don't think that's going to be the same way that the relationships develop. So what is the difference? And one of the things that has come to me, because we were reviewing Satya to Sai, the Radio Sai series, Satya to Sai, where it's a beautiful series where they take you through Swami's early life struggles, as well as all the different things he has done, leelas, when he was young, and when he got to teenage age, and then when he was older. And in that series, one of the things Swami says is, if you do my work in this world, I will take care of you. There is nobody else that takes care of you today, tomorrow, day after. It's I who take care of you. And so if you do my work in this world, I will take care of you. And so earlier this year, I lost my job, and I said, Swami, this is great, because now I can test you. I can see if you're going to take care of me or not. And so I started a long lost thing that I wanted to do, which is I wanted to go to corporate America and find out why we don't work for providing customer value. Why are we so focused on money and earning money and quarterly earnings? And so one of the things that I'm doing right now actively with a lot of companies is to coach them on providing customer value. And just like Swami says, once you provide value to the customer, the money is a byproduct. Swami says, money is a byproduct. So nicely he says it. And so having that view in our mind, and even in our personal lives, making sure that we are thinking of money as a byproduct, not as a mainstream view of, this is what I need in order to get by. No, you need to serve, and then whatever money you need, Swami will send it. So right now, I'm actively in a journey where, thanks to Ramya's support also, where I said, I'm going to test Swami on this. And I have started to do my own work and started to work with the challenges that come as a result of it. And one of the biggest things that came to me, because when I was very young, I was told that I could never be a musician. Because my parents were very strong believers that musicians cannot earn money. So more than for me, they're worried about Ramya. My mom says, you can't do this because you are taking care of Ramya. And what I tell her is, I don't take care of Ramya, Swami takes care of Ramya. And Swami takes care of us. But since I took this decision, I've got 3 big programs that lined up one after the other, which are really high profile. One of the things at the Mesa Art Center, they invited me to curate a program together for their summer series, which is a big deal in Phoenix. And like that, I have got 3 other programs. So Swami is telling me actively that you've taken a decision, now watch what I do.
Does our every retreat music program come with that? Like, because you mentioned high profile, that's
pretty high
Yes,
profile.
that's pretty high profile. In fact, coming here, getting a tabla is big enough.
All right. So a very good point that you mentioned, an interesting point. I don't know how many of you were there earlier today for Sister Anu's speaker session. She had mentioned something like Laddu moments. I think that was so beautiful. Like it just like my brain just got stuck at that word, Laddu moments, where Swami gives us an opportunity so that we get better, we get the chance to earn His grace, and it's like somebody makes a laddu and gives it to you, and they don't get anything from it. They just want you to eat the laddu, get the sweetness, get the blood sugar high, and have fun. You know what I mean? But that very moment, right? Like laddu moment. I want to know both of yours that laddu moment where you felt that, hey, I don't think I deserve this opportunity, but Swami has like put me here so that I can grow. And mostly when Swami puts you in such situations, it's for our personal growth. And Swami's will anyway happens, but it's such a pleasure to be a part of that journey. So I'll ask Sister Ramya's laddu moment first, and then I'll come to you, Brother Shreyas.
I don't know if I can really pick one, because I believe that when anything is sent your way, it's Swami's blessing. Especially, I know we say, it's not Swami's work and your work and all of that, but I feel like especially in the organization, in the SSIO, I have a running joke that everything SSIO related was due 2 days ago. But you'll find out about it today. So those of you that have been involved will know.
They're the only ones laughing. Look at
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Anyone in leadership knows what that means. And it's been happening for years. But I feel like, initially I'd get frustrated, or I'm like, how am I going to pull an all-nighter? I'm tired. And then I just started saying, if Swami is sending this work my way, Swami is never going to let us fail. Like that's just not what the divine does. We might learn our lessons, but with that is going to come energy, is going to come time, like things miraculous. And we've all heard these stories, things miraculously fall off your schedule. All of a sudden, like, the computer's running faster than it needs to, because otherwise it's slow, or like you have an extra boost of energy. I'm not a caffeine person, so it doesn't work for me. And so I think I don't know if I can really pick one moment or the other. There are just so many experiences that way. But I have come to actually call that word prasadam. So I'll tell Shreyas, okay, it's prasadam time, I guess I was due. Because along with that is Swami's grace, His time, the energy really to be able to wake up, do that work selflessly. And it's the littlest thing. So I was involved in a lot of graphic design work, really, and still am when it comes to that. And there's always like, this font has to change, and this little flower petal has to change this color, and you have these moments of like, does that really matter? Who is going to notice the one flower petal that was a different color? And somebody will comment on it. So I think just that growth and that striving for perfection, because you never know. So I think all moments are Laddu moments, or I actually read a book called The Lollipop Moment.
Oh,
Yeah, and so whichever dessert floats your boat.
I think Sister Anu checked with the copyright and found that lollipop was not available, so hey, Laddu works. Brother Shreyas,
And the funny thing is, I think we think of, I don't know what a Laddu moment is. Because for me, growing up, I was always, even though I went to Parthi many times, I did not have the fortune of one-on-one, direct conversation with Swami. And there was a couple of times when we kind of walked past and we had like a little bit of a Pada Namaskar. But that was the only association I had with the physical form. So for almost 35, 40 years of my life, we've been looking at Swami and we've been seeing what he's doing and getting the energy from afar. It's like that Akbar and Birbal story, I don't know if you guys have heard, where a sage is put in cold water and the king gives a challenge that whoever stands in this cold water and is able to survive the night will get a lot of rewards. And this sage survives it, and the next day the king asks him, how did you do it? He said, far away I saw a light, a lamp that was burning. And I just looked at that lamp, and the warmth of that lamp gave me warmth, and I survived it. For a lot of us, I think, who haven't had the fortune of direct association with Swami, Swami is like that lamp that's burning far, far away. And we have to somehow figure out how to create the warmth from that distance that you will get when the flame is close by, right? And so that challenge to me is a every moment challenge. And the moment you feel Swami within you, and you're able to feel that warmth of that lamp that's far away within you, that's your Laddu moment. If in the night you're reading a book and all of a sudden you skip a page, for example, for us, the number 909 has started to mean a lot of things. Sometime in 2008 is when Swami started appearing to us in the form of the number 909. And whenever we are in need of inspiration, or whenever we are in need of a sign, all of a sudden you'll see 909 on a number plate, or the time turns 909. So, or you'll see a bill and the last number of that would be 909. So Swami shows you that even though he's at that distance, he'll give you your specific sign and your specific calling card to say, this is who I am, and when I show you this sign, that's your personal card to say, oh, this is Swami. So for me, Laddu moments come in many ways, but a lot of times it's the number 909 that shows me Swami is there.
How do you reach like snack? Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just
Sorry.
going to say, I think a lot of it also comes down to the closeness you develop with Swami. And I think something we talk about frequently is we often put Swami in a picture, and as opposed to finding the picture is God, right? And I've shared this with many of you, I think, on another call and in different points. One of the things I actually struggle with is saying Swami and I. Swami and me. Swami will do this, because that creates separation for me. We're all at different points in our journey. For me, I really feel like Swami and I are one, and that is the ultimate goal. And we joke about this, and it doesn't come from a space of ego, but there are days when he'll be like, he'll ask me something, and I said, well, I'm God, and I'm functioning like God, and I'm making this decision as God. And we'll chuckle about it, but I truly believe that. Is it every day? No. And so actually, when I speak or I write things, anytime I say Swami and me, I have to go back and tell my brain, no, that's just for this moment, because my brain is registering that scientifically as well. I'm sending those signals and messages of separation. So that is something else I feel like when you start getting to that space, you're living loving moments all the time because you are, and all of you are God as well.
That's really nice. I should tell this to my manager. But yeah, jokes aside, the reason I brought up Laddu moments is because it's a very, these moments are like Swami's gift, right? So when you're in your Laddu moment, you're mostly like facing something that you're not faced, but then Swami holds your hand and walks you through excellence, right? And that develops, somehow you develop a growth mindset out of it. So I was just trying to like explore that very idea of how Swami gives you an opportunity and you think, oh hey, I'm here now. This is not comfortable. This is out of my comfort zone. And but if the more you're uncomfortable is the more you get comfortable with uncomfortable. The more you get comfortable with uncomfortable is how you grow, right? Because for every exam that I prepare, I don't like studying biology, right? But then I sit and learn all of that. I'm uncomfortable. But then at the end of the day, I know more biology. I don't know why I brought all that up. But yeah, I just wanted to explore the idea of like growth mindset with all of you. So yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Brother Shreyas?
So this is a very nice term that is now starting to come to the fore, which is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And what does that mean? So let me do a little exploratory exercise with all of you, right? So Swami has said that we should do service. Okay? What are some of the reasons Swami says we should do service? And shout it out as it comes to you. Self-transformation. Getting rid of the ego. Yes. Happiness.
The need for service may be at an uncomfortable time.
Need for service can be an uncomfortable time. Yes. For you and for your family. Yes. What others? What's the reason?
From someone from those rows that are away from our eyesight.
Peace. Yes. Peace. Yes. Service saves you. Yes. Yes.
To see oneness.
Very nice. Selfless. Yes. Serve God. Yes. Yes. All of these are very good reasons. Okay? Now I'm going to ask you an uncomfortable question. You ready? What is your reason for doing service? Your personal reason, not what Swami says. What have you thought about service? Why do you get up, if you get up at 4 o'clock like in Phoenix? When I was a young adult, I couldn't get up early in the mornings, I'll be very honest. But when I became a service coordinator, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go there to serve. And all of a sudden, this energy came. But I had a reason for why that happened. But what is your reason for doing service? It makes you happy. Yeah. Feeling compassion. Yes. For betterment of humanity. Yes.
Yes. Gives you joy.
Gives you joy. Yes. Right.
So it became a habit and then it became a hobby.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But what if I told you that all of the reasons you have said are consequences? They are consequences of doing service. Those are not the reasons you are doing service. So let me ask you one more question. Why? Let me ask you one more time. Why? Okay, it makes you happy. So what?
Related to your past life, or sometimes it also tries to make you go down.
Mhm.
Maybe am I able to do this or not? Sometimes you feel shock.
Okay, yes. So it can add ego or subtract ego, both, right? So it's again that's the act of doing, that's what you're doing and how you're doing it. But why are you doing it?
It's the best use of my time.
Swami's grace. To win Swami's grace.
Somebody said something about time.
I said it hurts me to see somebody else suffering.
Okay. So it hurts you personally to see someone else suffering.
To
Yes.
make the best use of my time.
Best
To
use
make the
of your
best
time.
use of your time.
Okay.
To feel vulnerable.
Happy, you are happy.
If you make somebody happy, you're happy, yes.
Looking at something bigger than yourself.
Okay, very awesome. To add some good karma, yes. You get satisfaction.
Which is still a consequence of the service, right?
Yes.
It's gratitude, basically feeling fortunate for what we have and sharing with others in terms of love and in terms of time or knowledge or whatever. So always be grateful to Swami and having this let me share whatever I have.
Right. So one of the things that a lot of you are saying is it's for the betterment of humanity, right? And for self-improvement, for serving God, great whys. If that's your why, then when you wake up in the morning, you will never feel lazy to go to service. And you'll always find ways of doing service in one way or the other. For example, if my why is betterment of humanity, as a consequence, isn't my wife a human? So if I serve her, am I living my purpose? Yes. But as soon as I veer away from that, for example, let's say I'm not doing something that's for the betterment of humanity. For example, I'm watching something on the phone and I'm wasting time that way. Then you will feel that you're not aligned with your purpose. And you will make sure that you align your service with what your purpose is. So one of the main things I would leave you with is understand why you as an individual are doing service. Not because Swami said it. Swami has said a lot of things, but we don't do all of it. But when we pick one thing from Swami's messages and make it our own, then our life finds purpose. And then we are on the fast track to get wherever we are going to go in a jiffy. So after tonight, I'll give you homework. Maybe go home and before you go to sleep, think about why you're doing service and just write down a few sentences. Don't have to think too much. Don't spend more than 2 minutes on it. Then tomorrow, look at that and see if you can add something about it. And every day think about why am I doing service? Why? And get deeper and deeper until you find out your purpose, because it will take some work. I've done some work on this and I know it's not easy. It won't come to you the first time. You'll have to think about it and you'll have to dig deeper into it until you find the why. But once you've found it, all of your activities, whether they're sci-centered, whether they're going to the gas station and filling gas, going to Costco doing grocery shopping or whatever, all of those activities will become part of your greater purpose and will align you with your mission with Swami.
And I'm just going to go back to your original question about being comfortable with the uncomfortable as well, right? So Shreyas led us on this journey of why, which may have felt uncomfortable for some of you. But I mentioned this at the end of the workshop as well. We really get into a routine or something that's a habit. We know how it works, whether that's service, work. If I have to go somewhere else in the morning, I invariably end up at my work exit because it's just rote memory. I'm not thinking about it. But I think in everything we do, we have to think about what's the next step. How can I get deeper? How can I tweak this so it's not comfortable all the time? It's not rote memory. And I think that's where vulnerability comes. Whether that's a service project that we're pushing our boundaries on, thinking about, is this really a need? Just because we've done this for 20 years, do we continue doing it? I think COVID made us think about that a lot. COVID added a lot of discomfort to a lot of our routines, and to some degree still is. Or sometimes we've just gone back to it. But I feel like when we push our comfort zone, it pushes us into a zone of vulnerability. When we're vulnerable, we have to surrender, because there is no way out. And when we surrender, that's another layer and level of faith. And so I feel like even to get deeper and deeper and deeper in the journey of faith and surrender, vulnerability is a very tangible exercise that we can do for ourselves. It's not just talk, it's actually something that, like you said, even if you just tonight, or when I'm not going to give you the homework, you can pick when you want to do it. Even if you pick one thing that you want to change or elevate or take to that next level, that whole X+1 that we were talking about in your life or a project or at work, and you say, I'm going to be okay with this vulnerability. And trust me, we all know this, Swami will send you all of the tests because you've asked for it and you've committed to it. But with that is your journey to surrendering deeper and deeper and deeper. So that's how I think of that comfort and discomfort.
Wow, that was very profound. Thank you so much. That's the reason about the why. Because sometimes I find myself doing some stuff that it's like very mindless. Okay, I just like do it for the sake of doing it. But I would imagine that will add a lot more depth to every activity that I do, finding out my why. Because I think that's very, very important in part of being a human, a proper functioning human in this Kali age, right? To know what is the thing, what is the core belief that drives you to excellence.
If you've never written a mission statement for yourself, that's a great activity as well. We had our group 4 students do that one year. We started the year with, they had to write, if I was a product, what would my mission be? Right?
Wow, that's interesting. You know what? We should like try it out right now. So for mission statement, whenever I hear mission statement, I was like unemployed for like a year. Okay, so the way I used to prepare for interviews is I used to open up the mission statement of the company and formulate all my answers around the words, the keywords that they use for that. Never in my life I have thought about my own mission statement. I just wanted to fit into anything that's there, that's already existing. So you know what? Take your electronic devices outside. Okay, we'll run through a small activity. Just show us the way, Ramya, and then we'll take it. Okay.
We'll have our professional facilitator here.
Yes.
So, what they say is a vision is infinite in nature. Meaning, if you hit that vision, the purpose of your life is done. Right? Swami's vision was very clear. To elevate all of us to the status of God. And he said, I'm God, but so are you. You just don't know it, and I know it. So, imagine this. He spent 80 years doing this, getting through his vision. And he had multiple mission statements underneath it. He had hospitals, he had devotional programs, he had all of these different missions that he put in place, water project, in order to show us the divinity, to show us the God that we are. How many of us think we are God? Excellent. Right? So out of so many, so is the vision complete? Vision is not complete, it's still going on, right? So for us, we need to also find a vision that is infinite in nature. Don't say in 5 years, I want to do this. Write your vision statement in this way. To say, I am ... And then see what comes to you. I am ...
It's almost like an affirmation.
Right. So take 30 seconds, okay? Take out your devices.
Take out your devices, everyone.
We'll just run through this activity, yeah?
I am ... and fill whatever comes to you. So, whatever you wrote down, now you can think of that as your vision statement. Meaning, you've already said you are that. You're not saying I will be. You've already said you are that. Now you just have to bring it together. So when you do your remaining thoughts, or when you dig deeper into this, right? Think about it in terms of 5 years. Say, in 5 years, what are you going to do?
That aligns with that vision. That's the
Aligns with
value.
that vision.
So once you have your vision established, every act that you participate in needs to lead into your why. It is feeding your vision. It cannot just be willy-nilly. That's when you go astray. So that's a nice way to check if you are aligned or not. Is this actually leading me to that vision that I want? So it's a self-compass. So it's your internal GPS, so to speak.
So for example, my vision is to make and set the path for everybody around me to find their divinity. And
So you just made that a tentative statement. Because you gave them the instruction to not say, it will be.
no, to make everybody
Okay,
divinity.
so everybody is divine.
Yes, correct. And so now, when I think of starting a new job, or when I'm doing my tabla, right? The first question that comes, I'm going through the process, So the importance is how do you go through the process, right? So when I'm thinking of tabla, and let's say a program comes to me or something, the first question I'm asking is, what's my vision? My vision is to help people find their divinity. Is this program that's coming to me leading me to my vision? So in your terms, you might have a new college application, or you might have a new job, or something that's coming to you. Look at your vision statement. See what you have wrote for yourself. I am so and so and so. And see if your new opportunity or the things that you're doing currently are aligning with that vision or not. And then start questioning everything. Question everything. Your daily routine. Question your daily interactions. Question your daily relationships. Find out if all of them are aligned to your vision or not. And that will help you really drive home the point, who you are and where you want to be.
And I think that's also the practicing of discernment that Swami tells us. Right? Because it's easy to also go into the zone of everything that comes to me, Swami has sent. But there's noise and there's clarity. And Swami does say we have to use our sense of discrimination and discernment to really kind of churn that and see what is actually meant for me in all of this, and let's skim away what's not. So I think that's another way to push our comfort zone, because I think we can get complacent by saying, oh, this is what Swami willed for me. We're very good at all of the statements, right? Swami says, or oh, Swami willing. We really don't want to take ownership. But Swami says we're all God as well. And so these are things where it is pushing the practicality of Swami's teachings, or pushing us to think about the practicality of his teachings, at least for us, and not stay in the gray zone, so to speak. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but at least that's where we are in our journey of okay, what does this really mean, and how do we actually take this lesson and use it.
And tell you a small story. And this is funny because, way before we know Swami, Swami had already set this vision in place when he was 14, when he declared his avatarship. And it was funny to find out that the very first devotees that came to him, they would see a boy, kind of sleeping on the back of a cow or something, and then say, where is the ashram, or where is the hut? We want to see Sai Baba. And he would point them to a little shack-like thing. At that point of time, it was not very big. And he would make them welcome. He would show them where to sleep, where the food was, and all that stuff. And then when there was darshan time, the same boy would come out in a robe and give darshan. So Swami was the first watchman for the organization. He was the first cleaner for the organization. He was the first receptionist for the organization. But he had his vision at that point of time, which everybody aligned with his vision. Slowly it gathered steam, and now look how big his vision is, and how big the organization is, and how many people are following Swami. So it doesn't need a lot of people. You could be the only one that's doing your thing, but do it, because it'll pick up steam, and 100% people will come to you, and they'll look for your vision, and they'll join with you.
I'm guessing we're running out of time. Yeah, but I just wanted to say we are not just saying this to say it. We are going through this journey ourselves. We are learning this journey ourselves. Some of you know, some of you don't, but Shreyas and I are essentially starting Swami's mission the SSIO mission of Swami in Phoenix from scratch. And so we are literally making decisions where we're like, okay, it's just the two of us, or there's just maybe 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 people. Can we really do this? And so every day, every week, every month, this is an ongoing practice for us. And we are always reminded by that story in Satyajit where Swami was one person and that's all it took. So we are at least 2 people. So what are we complaining about? We have 4 hands, we have 6 hands. So this is not something we're just saying to say. It is an everyday journey that we are currently going through. And so we are inspired by his work, and hopefully you are inspired as well through us sharing with you today.
Thank you so much, Sister Ramya and Brother Shreyas. It was such it was so wonderful, listening to you, talking to you, and just to conclude the overall session, I would like to say that the theme of this retreat is serve and inspire, living his mission, right? So Swami left his physical form 10 years ago, okay? And it's been 10 years since we are devoid of his physical form, but we can see him in much more subtler ways. But where are we in terms of living his mission? Because Swami used to say, my life is my message, initially, but towards the end he used to say, your life is my message. And 10 years later, it's time for us to look back and try to find ways where we are uncomfortable so that we can get comfort in that uncomfort, be vulnerable, surrender to him, grow as sadhaks, and try to live this mission. With that, I'll conclude our speaker session.